YouTube family, it's K-Star, and today is 2 weeks post-op VSG surgery for me. I started my weight loss journey on June 11th at my pre-op appointment, where I did weigh in at 301.2 pounds. I lost 10 pounds on my pre-op diet, and since surgery, I have lost 20 more pounds. I weighed myself this morning and weighed 271.3, so that's about 30 pounds total. And while that is an achievement, and I am very happy to be back in Wonderland and will never ever see 300 pounds again, or I really hope so, I was really hoping to be into the 260s. If I would have stepped on the scale this morning and saw 269, I just would have been positively elated. But I did not. So this next week we're going to have to work a little bit harder to, I hope by my 3-week appointment I will be well into the 260s and everything will be butterflies and unicorns. But this past week has been anything but. It's been pretty hard, not fun at all, a lot of nausea, some vomiting still. Called my doctor and I was like, look, the stuff I'm supposed to be eating really doesn't stay down very well, like tomato soup, protein shakes. I give them back. It just doesn't work for me. And I would really like to get to a point where they will. And I can only hope that as I continue to heal, the nausea will cease and desist. I do not try to eat or drink anything when I first wake up in the morning because my stomach is very tight. And even sipping on water makes me feel nauseous. And if I never feel nauseous again in my life, it will be too soon. I am so tired of feeling like I'm going to puke every time I put something in my mouth. It is beyond frustrating. And I was really hoping that since I've had so much strife with eating, that I would have been rewarded on the scale with a couple extra pounds weight loss. But no, couldn't win that challenge either. So I am a little frustrated this week. I will not lie. It has not been fun, and I am getting kind of crabby about it. But I just keep telling myself that it has to get better, blah, 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 all that positive shit. Somebody said to me, you know, oh, I'm reading all your posts, and I'm amazed at how you can stay so positive. It's such a nice trait to have. And I replied with, I stay positive because I hate it when people whine and complain, especially when they have the power to make a change or make it better. So I refuse to be a whiny little bitch about this because I know that this isn't forever. This feeling isn't forever, and eventually I will figure out what works for me and get into some sort of routine that works for me. But I've got to say that whenever you're sitting there eating foods that you don't particularly enjoy, but you know that they're probably good for you or going to be easier for you post-op, and you still can't keep them down, you have days whenever you're just like, why? Why am I trying so hard? Because I can't win. And I've definitely had a couple of those days this past week, but I'm just determined to make this week better. So I did try 3 new foods that I was told I could try going in to this next week. Now that I am 2 weeks post-op, they want me to start moving a little bit closer to solid food. So I have been okayed to start eating things like watermelon, which I was really excited about, which I had for breakfast, and it went down well. Mashed potatoes, ground and shredded meats, steamed vegetables, different kinds of soups, maybe like a soft noodle. Still no baked goods, still no like crunchy things, but I can do like eggs. I could do maybe like kind of runny oatmeal, stuff like that. So more options, more things to try. And I did have some pulled pork and some mashed potatoes last night, and that went down well. A very small amount of it. I could not eat very much, but it stayed down. So we're going to accept that and be okay with it. So one non-scale victory is the swelling in my right leg has gone down considerably. For those of you who don't know, I do have lymphedema. Both of my ankles and feet swell, but my right one more than my left one. The swelling in my left one has completely gone away. I haven't experienced any swelling in my left leg since my surgery, and my right leg, the swelling has gone down considerably. There have been points in this past year where my right leg has gotten so swollen that I could not wear a shoe of any kind. Actually, when I went to New York in January, last January, with some of my coworkers, my foot got so swollen from all of the flying and all of the walking around that I actually ripped my boots because of it. My foot and ankle were so hugely swollen that I, at some points, was scared that I would not be able to put a shoe on at all. So I was not sure how I was going to get through my day. I would sleep and the swelling would go down some, and so immediately when I would wake up in the morning, I would put on my boots because I knew that any amount of walking around would make it swell again, and I would be afraid that I would not be able to get the shoe on at all. Well, all of the stress that I put on these poor boots eventually made them rip. They zipped up the side, and in the back where the seaming came together, eventually it just gave. The seaming gave. As my foot would swell up while it was inside these boots, it eventually ripped the seams out of them. And I ended up having to throw those shoes away and wear my rain boots. The last day that we were in New York City, I had to wear my rain boots because, and by rain boots, I mean like garden galoshes. I had brought them with me as like a necessity. We were walking everywhere we went, and I was afraid that I wouldn't be able to wear normal shoes, so I brought some galoshes with me, and I'm really glad that I did, because our last day in New York, that was the only thing that I could fit my foot in. So going to the airport wearing galoshes was really interesting, but that's what happened. And it's pretty embarrassing to be sitting there with your friends and have to admit to them that your foot is so swollen that you cannot put your shoes on, that you actually ruined your shoes because of it. So I am so happy that since my surgery, while my right ankle still swells some, it by no means has gotten up anywhere near as huge as it normally does. Usually by the end of my workday, my foot is so hugely swollen that it looks like if you were to pop it, like prick it with a pin, it would burst like a balloon. It's awful. I wish I had pictures to show you guys. So you would see that I'm not exaggerating. It gets just disgustingly engorged. I don't even know how else to explain it. So when I wake up in the morning, the swelling is almost completely gone, and I can actually see the bones in my feet and my ankles, which I have not seen for years. So that has been kind of exciting to me. I'm like, ooh, I can wear sandals that have straps that go around my ankles now. So that is my non-scale victory for the week, and I am afraid that going back to work normal hours next week, it might swell again. So this might be a premature victory, but for now, it's better. So I'm just going to accept that and hope for the best. Another little kind of problem I've been having is the hiccup and the burping issue. I get the hiccups out of nowhere, and they're kind of painful, but usually they don't last very long. So I've just been dealing with that as it comes. The belching is really grossing me out. I am kind of a prude when it comes to bodily functions. It is not something that, excuse me, there we go, that I feel comfortable discussing or having to do in front of people. My boyfriend and I have lived together for 2.5 years, and we do not do those things in front of each other. We do not pee with the door open. We do not fart or burp in front of each other or anything like that. sorry if that's weird or if you guys think that's ridiculous, but we don't do that, and I don't want to do that. I am not comfortable with it, and I think that it is disgusting and inappropriate. So I knew going into the surgery that belching would be an issue. And I gotta say, it is very uncomfortable for me to do that while I'm eating with people. Or, I mean, if I'm by myself, I'm just like, oh, good Lord, I'm really glad I'm by myself. But I can't even imagine being like out of restaurants and doing that. Like, that is so disgusting. Like, if I were to accidentally belch really loudly in a restaurant, I would be positively mortified. I would probably leave because of how embarrassed I would be. So sitting there trying to eat food with my boyfriend and having to like let out these little burps while you're eating, he doesn't say anything about it, and he's been really nice about the entire thing. But we just don't do that in front of each other, so I know on some level it has to be off-putting for him. And I know that I need to do it, and I need to just accept it. But to be completely honest, I am horribly grossed out about it, and I think that it is very not nice and very inappropriate. So is there anything that you guys do to like alleviate the belching? Is that something that goes away eventually? I just would really like to control that if at all possible. I know that seems silly, but it's it's just not something I do, and it's something I'm very uncomfortable with. So, yeah, hopefully my 3-week update will be a little bit more positive for you guys. I'm sorry if this one was kind of a downer, but it's just been a really rough week for me. But yay, no more 300 pounds. Yay, no more fat ankle. And ew to burping. I hope it goes away. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please let me know how you are all doing. I know there are quite a few ladies that are either close to their surgery dates or they are not too far out post-op wise. So please keep us updated and let us know how you're doing. And I love you guys, and I'll see you later. Bye.